Remy Ma was demolished. No problem. Eazy Block Captain humiliation left supporters in complete shock. But this is a question that everyone is muttering in the shadowy corners of Twitter threads. From riding high together to tearing each other apart in front of millions. How did one of hip-hop's most surprising power couples come to that point? Was this the perfect clapback, or just another tumultuous celebrity split? We must admit that when Remy Ma claps back, she does more than simply tweet, she ignites the internet. Well, let's just say that Eazy is currently popular for all the wrong reasons. The demons are already being leaked by anonymous sources. One alleged insider asserts that the split was not only personal, but also strategic, and there are shady recordings circulating. Apparently, this narrative involves money, pride, and even a third party that isn't mentioned. So fasten your seatbelts because what would have appeared to be another separation has become a major scandal. Was Eazy going too far? Did Remy plot her retaliation far in advance of the cameras capturing it? What actually took place the night everything blew up? They believe they know the truth. The version they don't want you to hear, however, is what you will hear tonight. When the news initially surfaced, social media roared, not just gasped. Eazy The Block Captain and Remy Ma, the unusual couple who transformed their private relationship into a public spectacle, were all the rage on blogs, podcasts, and messy group chats. However, let's take a moment to support this, as this was no ordinary split. This was not a Halloween special, rather, it was the kind of breakup that smolders with treachery, retaliation, and deeper secrets. Rumors had circulated for months. Supporters claimed to have witnessed awkward body language, tension at events, and the occasional side-eye stare captured on live streaming, as the general people believed it to be merely rumors. According to those with knowledge of the situation, everything was bound to blow up at any moment. According to anonymous insiders, who might or might not be the best friend of Remy's neighbor's cousin, conflicts in their relationship were evident long before the news made headlines. The kicker is this: Remy doesn't like to sit in silence and mope about her problems. Her style is to reload. Her reputation is based on clapbacks that make even seasoned professionals in the field shudder. And God bless Eazy, who is impoverished. He believed he could outshine her, please. It's similar to confronting a home fire with a water cannon. Stupid and awkward. To truly comprehend this shocking split, however, we must go back to the beginning. After all, Remy Ma's romantic life has never been merely romantic. Power movements have always played a part. Her marriage to Papoose was based on loyalty, visits to prison, and the kind of ride-or-die narrative that fans devoured like candy, making it all but legendary in the rap industry. Fans were shocked when it was rumored that Remy would be entertaining a new person, particularly a battle rapper like Eazy. It was referred to as development by some and treachery by others. But one thing was evident regardless of your stance. It wasn't a love affair. Making an impression was the goal. Eazy, the Block Captain, however, is not quite a nobody. His name is recognizable in the battle rap scene. He captivates the audience with his presence, bars, and gritty Philly spirit. Don't fool ourselves, though. He was conventional outside the culture. There's no better way to advance than to be associated with one of the most recognizable women in hip-hop. Critics speculate that Eazy's status as race boyfriend garnered more media attention than his own rap feuds. To be honest, the statistics are honest. This is where it becomes more juicy. Fake but spicy sources assert that this was more than simply love from the beginning. According to rumors, Eazy regarded Remy as his path to greater fame, bigger platforms, and higher paychecks. According to one insider, Eazy boasted in private talks about how Remy gave him the opportunity to play in the major leagues. At last, he may have believed she didn't see Remy, but she's been in this business long enough to recognize opportunism. But let's also avoid portraying Remy as a helpless victim in this situation. According to rumors, she enjoys the attention. Who wouldn't like to be showered with accolades by a younger, ambitious combat rapper? After all, her ego was boosted and she felt like the queen she already was. The issue with royalty treatment, however, is that your people will eventually demand something in return. His desire for the crown was simple. Our anonymously stolen direct messages indicate that a private after-party a few months ago was a tipping point. According to several witnesses, there was an unpleasant atmosphere between Remy and Eazy, who were hosting and performing. According to one purported attendee, they overheard Remy whisper, "I made you hot. Don't forget that." Eazy allegedly retorted, "And I made you relevant again." Just that one-liner has the power to destroy an empire. The trust was lost at that point. They may have grinned in front of the camera, but in private, heated disagreements, tactless behavior, and dubious social media accounts were the norm. Eazy's freestyle lyrics began to catch the attention of fans, who thought they sounded a bit too intimate. Sometimes the enemy you're feeding is sitting right at your table. Subtle, hardly. Remy, on the other hand, started reposting cryptic quotations on Instagram, naturally. The internet went crazy. Theories of conspiracy appeared everywhere. Did Remy have an affair with an unidentified executive? Was Eazy merely outshining her by using her connections? Was Papoose quietly observing everything and giggling in the background? Everyone had an opinion. But no one knew for sure. And opinions are more important than facts in today's culture that is dominated by clout. It wasn't shocking at all when the formal breakup reports surfaced. It was inevitable. However, the speed at which Remy went from silence to destruction astounded fans. After a few hours, tweets began taking off. Receipt leaks made an appearance on gossip blogs, and were simple in an instant. He was immersed in #Remy1 and #Eazy played himself are two examples of viral hashtags. Revealed texts and memes. The messy part comes here, though, in an anonymously leaked audio clip posted to a hip-hop blog. Remy purportedly stated that he believed he could outwit me. This game has been a part of my life for longer than he has, please. The question was whether it was fake or real. It was already damaged. Instantly, fans took Remy aside, labeling Eazy the pawn who forgot who held the chessboard, the opportunist and the cloud chaser. But not everyone believed the story. Some devoted Eazy fans claimed that Remy had been the one manipulating all along. They said she exploited Eazy's hunger to maintain her relevance in the battle rap scene. But when the focus moved, she threw him under the bus. One admirer wrote on Twitter, "Don't let Remy fool you. She knew what she was doing. But she's playing." The victim and entire fan base was split by this breakup, not just a couple. The dispute suddenly inundated battle rap forums. Fan pages for Remy went into defensive mode, and his name became a byword for falling from grace. It was impossible for popular websites like The Shade Room and Hollywood Unlocked to avoid stoking the fires. It was now a question of how far Remy would go to ruin Eazy. How much dirt was on her in exchange for Eazy? We've learned one thing about celebrity breakups, and that's this: nobody comes out clean. A third person's murmurs entered the scene just when you thought things couldn't get much worse. Their downfall was caused by more than just ego. According to one alleged buddy, it was treacherous. Yes, it is a betrayal of heart. Did someone else attend? What, is there a covert romance going on somewhere? Supporters demanded quick answers. At that point, the actual leak started. The picture that emerged was considerably more embarrassing than anyone had anticipated, thanks to screenshots, anonymous emails, and even voice recordings. The worst aspect is that every leak contradicted the one before it, making it hard to tell what was fiction on the internet and what was real. Perception is reality in the realm of gossip, however. How does this leave us, then? Hip-hop has never witnessed such a messy celebrity split. The gloves come off in a relationship that was founded on clout, power, and opportunism, and has now devolved into a carnival of accusations, leaks, and public degradation. For the simple reason that Remy Ma didn't just reply to the Block Captain's breakup rumors, she destroyed him in ways that only Remy can do. Ignore tweets on Twitter. This was a campaign of scorched earth meant to remind Eazy, the admirers, and to be honest, the whole sector. If Remy Ma's pride is at stake, don't undervalue her. The first shocking revelation was a group chat screenshot that was mysteriously leaked. There were receipts among Remy's close circle. According to gossip blogs, Remy referred to her as his industry booster seat in text, purportedly displaying Eazy boasting about playing the long game. Painful. Whether genuine or manufactured was irrelevant. Everything is perceived in an instant. Eazy was more than simply the abandoned ex, like a VIP wristband. He utilized Remy's name as a calculating opportunist. She leaned into the story. 2 Remy, hours after the leak, she appeared live on Instagram, drinking wine, grinning into the camera, and allowing the comments to pour in. She only needed to utter a few cryptic words, such as, "Don't worry, I remember everything." Some people forget who put them in the room. The internet erupted, in all caps. Fans typed. Rap battle forums went viral. Eazy's mentions also turned into a meme graveyard, with others comparing him to Flavor Flav in an attempt to surpass Beyoncé. Remy wasn't done, though. What a shame. If Eazy believed he could weather the tempest in silence, he lost sight of his enemies. A mystery audio recording appeared on a gossip podcast a few days later, suspiciously similar to Eazy's voice. The voice was heard complaining that Remy had been washed up and acknowledging that the only reason he stayed was because her industry opened doors. Hashtags like #blockbuster falsehoods and #the cloud captain began trending immediately. Supporters of Ray proclaimed it evidence that Eazy was a phony all along, and that the timing was too ideal, while fans brutally pulled him, as noted by bloggers. The leak was released just hours before Remy made an appearance at a significant business event, looking radiant in heavy-hitting CEOs and producers flanking luxury clothing. In the meantime, Eazy attempted damage management, as though she wanted to remind everyone that I'm still the queen. And Eazy can't touch this throne. Fans accused him of gaslighting shortly after he posted the ambiguous Instagram comment. Loyalty doesn't mean nothing when it's one-sided. Eazy allegedly shopped around his own set of receipts and voicemails from Remy, promising to make him the next big celebrity, according to one unidentified insider. But those tapes, if they were there, were never seen. The legal team for Remy either acted more quickly than a cheetah on Red Bull, or they easily chickened out. From a messy breakup to a full-fledged industry conflict, this is where the story changed. There were whispers that Remy was making calls to make sure EY's chances were snuffed out. It is said that one unnamed promoter admitted, "I was told point blank, don't book him if you want Remy on your stage." Can you picture you were iced out of your own scene by the woman who dressed you? Harsh. The supporters were also consuming it. Both sides' fans engaged in combat in the virtual gladiator arenas that Twitter platforms became. She was portrayed by Team Remy as a betrayed queen who was at last enforcing justice on one side. However, Eazy's team maintained that he was the target of a self-serving slander campaign. Memes, parody rap, screenshots, and more were all weaponized after that. There were exclusive reports. A well-known gossip website said it has documentation proving Remy funded a number of Eazy's endeavors, flights, hotel stays, and even studio time are all part of battle rap competitions. Whether or not those receipts were photoshopped masterpieces, it made no difference. The headline cried out, "Receipts show Remy funded Eazy's career. He paid her back with betrayal." In that the decision was unambiguous in the court of public opinion. The fact that Eazy bit the hand that fed him was his fault. Here's where things went nuclear. Saw up on TikTok. A phony voicemail that had been leaked emerged. A voice claiming to be Remy's was heard laughing and saying, "He thought he was using me. But baby, I'm 10 steps ahead. Let him talk, I'll bury him." With one tweet. Was it AI generated? Probably. Did fans care? Not at all. They believed it, shared it, and made it viral. By that time, the story had gotten so out of control that even fact-checkers stopped trying. Eazy, in an attempt to save his face, he agreed to a live stream interview with a small battle rap blog. And boy, was it a bust. He came across as defensive and bitter, and at times nearly confirmed the very accusations he wanted to refute. "You guys took that out of context," he added with a sly smile when questioned about the booster seat remark. "That was a bad move." Within minutes, Twitter had turned his out-of-context statement into a trending meme, with fans posting pictures of Eazy photoshopped in a toddler chair at industry events. And just when people thought Remy couldn't clap back any harder, she dropped the ultimate Mick moment. At a major performance right in the middle of her set, she paused, looked at the crowd, and said, "Never let a clown think he's a ringmaster." Industry rumors indicated that this wasn't just about ego but also about contracts, money, and possible lawsuits. Sources suggested that Remy had legally binding agreements linked to EY's projects, meaning their personal fallout. The arena erupted, the video went viral. Eazy's name was toast. But let's take a moment to shed a tear. Could have serious financial repercussions, and that's where part 3 comes in. If Remy's clapbacks had ruined his reputation, what followed threatened to ruin his career? Legal threats, financial sabotage, and the question of whether Eazy would ever recover, or if this was the end of the Block Captain. Altogether, because after the clapbacks, leaks, and public humiliation, things took a darker turn, one that could end careers, ruin reputations, and possibly even involve lawyers. Remy Ma vs. Eazy The Block Captain wasn't just a messy breakup anymore. It had turned into a full-fledged saga of power, money, and survival. The first indications of the fallout came subtly. Industry insiders started speculating that Eazy's scheduled appearances were mysteriously postponed. Flyers vanished. The rumor circulated that Remy had pulled strings and that the Block Captain had been blocked out. But that was only the beginning. According to an anonymous legal source, Ray's team was getting ready to file a lawsuit alleging breach of contract and misuse of funds. The leaked documents, which were conveniently sent to all the major gossip blogs, suggested that Remy had invested tens of thousands of dollars into EY's projects, including studio time, music videos, and travel expenses. Apparently, she footed the bill, and now that the romance had exploded, she wanted every penny back. Imagine being sued by the person you once referred to as your queen. It would be brutal. It would be easy to deny it all. The king had been set up for checkmate from the beginning. But the more he shouted into his phone camera while pacing his living room on Instagram Live, the less people believed him. Screenshots came flooding in, receipts were piling up, and Suddenly hashtags like #pyramid and #broken captains were trending. And fans who had once cheered his bars were now clowning his bank account. Remy played it cool, letting the leaks do the talking. Another document surfaced that purportedly signed a management agreement with Ray's imprint, which, if true, meant that she was not just his lover but also his boss, which gave her the legal authority to ice him out of deals, cancel shows, and even claim a percentage of his future earnings. Battle rap leagues were reluctant to book him, blogs called him radioactive, sponsors withdrew. And one promoter reportedly said, "It's not worth the headache that Remy is too strong. If she says no, the whole room says no." As he's once promising. Rai suddenly began to falter and the fans were divided. While some praised Remy for defending her brand and referring to her as the ultimate boss move queen, others criticized him, portraying him as just another victim of hip-hop's brutal politics. However, sympathy doesn't pay bills and perception is everything in this business. As if things couldn't get any worse. There were rumors that government officials were snooping around. A viral thread stated that EY's financial dealings, funded in part by Remy, raised suspicions of tax evasion and improper write-offs. Was it true? Who knows? But in the world of gossip, rumors are more powerful than facts. Suddenly, fans were making jokes about Eazy's battles with the IRS and rappers, and Remy kept winning. At one event, she wore a necklace encrusted with diamonds. That read blocked, subtle. Absolutely not. Effective, oh. You bet. Memes went wild. Blogs had a field day, and Eazy's humiliation reached new heights. "If the world hears this tape, as done," taunted one anonymous writer, referring to a purported recording purportedly in the possession of a former acquaintance that allegedly contained talks between Remy and Eazy that, if leaked, might damage what little credibility Eazy still had. "My career is over, whether the tape is real or not." The thread alone kept fans riveted to the drama at this point. The breakup wasn't just entertainment, it was a warning, a story of how ambition, ego, and betrayal can implode spectacularly in the merciless spotlight of fame. And yet, just when everyone thought it was over, another twist loomed because sources close to Remy hinted that this wasn't just about revenge, but about control. Rumors circulated that Remy was planning to start her own battle rap platform, and guess who would have been its face? Yes, it was Eazy. It was theorized that after he crossed the line, she decided to cut him off and build without him. If this is true, then this wasn't just personal, it was business. And Remy always plays to win in business. However, let's not forget Sob. That scandals never really end, they evolve. And as the dust settles, the bigger question still remains. Is this the end of Eazy the Block Captain? Or is it just the beginning of a darker, messier chapter? Because if that rumor tape drops, if those lawsuits go to court, if those government whispers become subpoenas, this saga could go from gossip blog fodder to front-page legal disaster overnight. And that cliffhanger fans are already waiting. Because in the world of hip-hop, the only thing better than a clapback is a sequel. Back is a sequel. The Remy Ma and Eazy the Block Captain saga has become the messiest breakup hip-hop has seen in years. With everything from lawsuits and shady screenshots to a rumored tell-all tape, and a private split that turned into a public demolition. With careers, reputations, and even fans themselves dragged straight into the chaos. However, the question still stands, was this ever about love? Or was it always about power? Or was Remy just biding her time, waiting for the right moment to flip the table and end the game? Because, let's be honest, when Remy Ma decides to clap back, she doesn't whisper, she detonates. What about that rumored recording? If it ever leaks, will it be the final nail in EY's coffin? Or could it twist the story and expose Remy in a way no one saw coming? Imagine the meltdown if the queen of clapback suddenly found herself fighting off her own medicine. So now it's your turn. Which side are you on? Is Eazy a clout seeker, or just the underdog who was chewed up by the machine? Is Remy the mastermind protecting her legacy, or the villain rewriting history to stay untouchable? Please share your most compelling theories below. If you believe the drama has only just begun, hit the like button. And if you don't want to miss the next shocking revelation we unearth, the fire is far from extinguished.